Hello everyone, welcome to Donny's World and to Kick-Ass and Wellness Wednesdays. Let me just quickly answer a question that a few people have asked me, is why do I always wear the same old outfits on my Wednesday show, which is all about self-improvement, mental health, physical health, and on my Friday show, which is about more general issues like politics or family life. And the answer is that I have a fantastic wardrobe in size 10 and 12 British sizes. I don't know what that is in American or European sizes, but pretty slim. I was born slim and I was pretty slim till quite recently. Maybe 5, 6, 7 years is how long I've been fat. And when I first put on weight, because of the medication I was taking after a very traumatic experience, the weight crept on over a 3-year period. And I refused to buy lots of new clothes as my body expanded. My attitude was that I was going to get back to my real size and get back to being able to wear all the lovely clothes I already had, some of which I've never worn. And I wasn't going to waste money buying clothes in big sizes because I do not like how I look when I'm big, and I don't want to invest anything in clothes for big people. I mean, obviously, I had to buy some clothes, and here in Nigeria, we have a tradition of making clothes. So, I do have a few things that I've bought and I've made in this size. But I've kept it to a minimum, and that's why both on this show and on my Friday show, you won't see much variety, You're not going to see the full range of my fashion choices and preferences until my size gets back to normal. And that's when I'll dig out some of the clothes I already have in my wardrobe, wonderful clothes, and buy some new stuff as well, okay? So, today I'm going to talk about exercise. Just before I traveled to Europe a few weeks ago, must be about a month now, I did a video with my personal trainer George, where he advised me on exercises I could do while I was abroad to keep myself a little bit, limber and so I wouldn't be too stiff, and I'd start my fitness journey, which keeps on stopping and starting, and so by the time I left for Europe, I was in pretty bad shape. Anyway, guess what? For a change, I actually obeyed instructions. And when I got to London, which was my first port of call in Europe, I did what George said, which was basically climbing up and down the stairs in my sister's house, which is where I stay when I'm in the United Kingdom, and a few basic stretches and strength exercises and core exercises. I did exactly what he said, and then I moved on to Venice in Italy, where I was meeting some school friends to attend an art and culture exhibition. And I can't tell you, it was like going from 0 to 1 million overnight. What I mean by that is that even though I was doing some basic exercises in London, and even in Nigeria before I even left for London, my average daily steps, were disgracefully low. I mean, there's some days when I didn't even do up to 200 steps because I'm sitting at home, working, very sedentary job, sitting at my computer, lying down, taking notes, watching my iPad. So, in Nigeria, I'm ashamed to say my average daily steps probably, don't exceed 200 or weren't exceeding 200. And then in London, because there's nobody to help you in London, no one to get you a glass of water, and you have to do a lot of stuff for yourself, and Nigeria is somewhere where you can really, really get away with being very lazy physically because you have domestic stuff, you have drivers. London, you don't have that advantage or privilege. So, but even in London, where you have to do stuff for yourself and there's no driver to pick you up from your doorstep and take you where you're going, you have to walk to the railway station or the bus stop. Because taxis are so expensive, you can't afford to take taxis everywhere if you're a normal person. So, even in London, I wasn't exceeding 1,000 steps a day, even with doing the exercises George told me to do when I got abroad. So when I got to Venice, which is a city on water, which has no cars, no bicycles, no golf buggies, nothing. The only form of transportation in Venice is you have to walk everywhere or take a boat. And the boats, they don't operate like normal, basically it's not that easy to hop in a boat to go down one canal or the other to get to one destination or the other. So walking is what everybody does. And the first day in Venice, I walked nearly 5,000 steps. That nearly killed me. The second day, I walked over 8,000 steps, which is, according to the app on my phone, is about 6 kilometers. On day 3, it came down a bit to about 3,000 steps, and day 4, the same, and then we went back. We left Venice because it was just a short break. And I just couldn't believe that I was capable of that type of movement because I had become so accustomed to not moving, to being almost basically semi-disabled. So, I went from averaging 200 steps a day in Nigeria to 1,000 steps a day in London to suddenly about 5,000 or 6,000 steps a day average in Venice. Of course, I wasn't able to just, get on with it and do it straight up like that. I had to keep stopping. I'd walk a few yards, I'd stop. I'd walk a few yards, I'd stop. But amazingly, I actually completed very long distances using that method. And, my friends were very patient with me. And what it taught me is that, we say this all the time, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a few steps. And as long as you're willing to break your journey up into manageable chunks, you can walk miles. And so that trip really strengthened me physically and mentally. Because honestly, if anybody had told me that I'd walk 6 kilometers, or whatever, I'd have said, no, I can't do it. I'm too old. Haven't exercised for a long time. I didn't train properly for this trip to Venice. So, I'm not in no fit state to do that kind of walking. But hey, I did it. And I made a few little notes about what I observed from that experience. Well, first of all, I didn't completely get away with it because somehow my body held up while I was in Venice. But when I got back to London on my way back to Africa, to Nigeria, it's like my body just went into shock. I could hardly move my legs or bend my knees. I was in a lot of pain. And I'm only just recovering now. I was in Venice less than 2 weeks ago. So it's taken about 10 days to start getting back to normal. I'm always in pain. My muscles and joints are always stiff, in recent years. But, this was another level of anguish. And so, it's obvious that I did too much too soon in too short a period of time. And so the body was protesting. But, I still know from having spoken to experts that I am stronger now than I was before. I'm less breathless because my muscles are stronger and just generally I'm in better shape. And so I'm going to try and do more exercise henceforth on a regular basis. And the challenge really is not to lose the benefits I gained from all that activity in Venice. And I'd like to, both of the friends, I basically met three friends in Italy. Two were with me in Venice, and another one was in a town outside Venice. We went to go and visit her afterwards when we'd finished with the art exhibition. And all of them were in much better shape than I was, even though one or two of them are probably a little bit overweight, whereas I am humongously overweight. But everybody was in better shape than I was. But one of them in particular, Stefania Maroni, is a very sort of like health conscious lady. She's Italian, she lives in Rome. And she doesn't starve herself. In fact, she was the chief cook while we were there, because we were staying in an apartment with a kitchen, an Airbnb kind of thing. And she made pasta for us, she made breakfast for us, she used olive oil, she used butter. She came out, when we went out to dinner in the evenings, she did not skimp. She had normal starters and main course, but she's very, very, very fit. I met her when she was working in Abuja, and I remember her as someone who always took exercise seriously, and now we're in our 60s, and she's still taking exercise seriously. She doesn't live in Nigeria anymore. But she is my role model, and I think she should be everybody's role model, at least a role model to anybody who is our age and not taking fitness seriously enough. Because there's so many benefits from exercise. I don't need to list them for you. You only need to go and Google benefits of exercise, and you'll see a long list of things that exercising does for the individual. And so, Stefania still goes to aerobics classes. She used to be the one who did aqua aerobics. She led classes when she lived in Abuja. She was very, very active. Now she's older, she's retired, she's in Rome, but she still goes to classes. She doesn't lead those classes anymore, but she still attends regularly. And I want to end this segment with a video of Stefania exercising. And I play that video often to remind myself of what is possible, because he's actually a couple of years older than me. And it's really, really good to see what is possible from someone of your age and maybe even a little bit older. And she's amazing. So I'm going to wind up this segment by playing a clip, showing you a clip of Stefania exercising. And my parting thought is, well, I gained something from this experience, which is that I am not willing to ever go back to being a sort of lazy, semi-comatose couch potato again. I will go back to Venice, and the next time I'll be marching down those pathways and alleyways without pausing for breath, even though by then I'll be a year or two older. Please watch and applaud my dear friend Stefania showing us how it should be. so we've come to the part of the video where we look at viewers' comments, and we haven't done viewers' comments on Wellness Wednesdays for a while because it was difficult to sort of manage everything from abroad. So I'm back now, and I've randomly picked a handful of responses from people who watch my Wednesday videos. And this one is from a lady called Anne, who sends her hugs. Hugs to you too, Anne. And her handle is Inspired Sassy 2330. And she congratulates me because before I went to Europe, I did a little video with my personal trainer and said I was determined to start getting fit and stop messing about with my health and blah, blah, blah. And she tells me well done. And she also comments, she talks about the positive impact of regular exercise on the metabolism and also on mental health. Because I did say in previous videos that I'm so emotionally repressed that I very rarely shed tears in a conscious state. But there's sometimes I wake up with tears running down my face based on very sad dreams I've had. Almost always these dreams are about my family life when I was a child and my parents were alive and my brothers were well, because one of my brothers is really ill. I'll talk about him one day, but it's really painful. And, you know, wonderful, wonderful memories of the better part of my childhood. And I also sometimes have dreams about the good times during my marriage. And in fact, I had one about 2 days ago. This is my husband, my ex-husband, myself, and our little boy, and it was just such a happy dream. And when I have these dreams about happier times, I often wake up with my face wet with tears. So Anne says, you know, no more sleeping tears, Donu. Get it all out of your system. A good workout will help you sleep like a baby. And I think she's probably right that, you know, everybody says that exercise is good for depression and lifting the spirits and improving the mood. So maybe some of those things that make me sad will maybe I'll be able to cope with sadness better if I take exercise more seriously. Because I got to tell you, even when I was slim, I was very lazy around exercise. At school, I was a champion athlete because I was forced to be. And I was built to be an athlete. And the nuns at my convent school forced me to be on the netball team, the tennis team, the athletics team. And I really did not enjoy it. But I was very good at it. But the minute I left school and had a choice, I stopped. And so, you know, we're trying to pick up the pieces again now. We really, really need it because of the weight and other issues to do with age. And, you know, exercise helps your heart and stops you from having a stroke. And as Anne says, it's good for your mind as well and your heart. And not just your heart physically, your heart emotionally. And then there's another comment from Lorna Henry, who is one of my regulars. And she says, it looks like you're getting sound advice from your fitness trainer. Also do lots of walking. And Lorna, sorry, if only you knew the amount of walking I did in Venice. Actually, I looked at my fitness app on my phone, which calculates the number of steps you take. And I actually did, I think, 22,000 steps in 4 days, which for me is amazing. I mean, I know some people can do that in one day and they do that every day. But as I said, it was like going from 0 to a lot. So yeah, she says, do lots of walking, just keep walking. I find it a great way to exercise and I enjoy the solitude, being lost on in my own thoughts while I walk. You'll be surprised how you will lose weight and feel better simply by walking. Keep it up. So yes, I am not going to plunge back into doing 5,000 or 6,000 steps a day immediately, because my body has told me that that's going too far, too soon. But I am going to build up from about 2,000 or 3,000 now to hopefully maybe 10,000 by the new year. That's in about 6 weeks' time. Let's see how it goes. But thanks for the advice. And then JM162 says, every journey starts with the first step, which is true. And Patricia Wask says, awesome, focused, determined, inspiring. Thank you, Patricia. And Philomena Sauce says, you go girl, keep kicking ass. And I intend to. It's difficult, I will stumble and fall sometimes, but I'm trying my best. And I don't really have much time to keep on making mistakes. You know, this crap about 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 1 step back. I really need to steadily go in one direction, which is forward or upwards. And then these are a few comments from last Wednesday's video, which was about the mental health benefits of going on vacation in environments, you know, unfamiliar places, get away from your normal space, blow some cobwebs out of your head, and also the benefits, mental health benefits of seeing old friends and making new friends and connecting with humanity. So these are responses to that video, which was last Wednesday. And this is from Sandra Miller. She says, it's good to meet with special friends. I met with my Australian friend who was traveling through London and took the opportunity to see her for a chat about our lives since I last saw her 25 years ago. Oh, that's wonderful. One of the friends I met in Italy, I hadn't seen her for nearly 50 years. Okay, so I know that thing about reunions after decades. And she says, Sandra says it took her 4 hours to travel to London and 4 hours back to her home in Wales in one day. But it was worth the effort just to see her again. It seemed like only a few days since you last saw her, just talking, laughing, and enjoying lunch in London. That's exactly how it was with us. Isabel and I, who came from London to meet, we had 2 Stefania friends who live in Italy. One I've seen fairly recently, the one who lives in Rome and who's very fit, who's in the video. And then there's another one called Stefania Mauro, who I hadn't seen for 40. Isabel and I went to school with her. We'd known her since she was 11, since we were all 11, and we hadn't seen her for 47 years. And do you know, the years just fell away. She came to pick us up at the station, because we left Venice to go to the town where she lives, which is not far from Venice. And the years just fell away. We were teenagers again, and we were giggling and gossiping about things we remembered. It was amazing. So Sandra, I'm glad you had that experience too. And then Lorna again says, what a lovely video, Donny. This is with me and my girls in Venice. And she says, so happy to see you enjoying yourself and relaxing with such lovely friends. I'm heading off myself to visit my best friend in Brighton the day after tomorrow. We are friends since 1977 when we were on our training course with British Caledonian Airways to become aircrew. We have both spent a lot of time in Lagos over the years and in West Africa in general. I now live in southern Spain, but we are in constant contact every day via WhatsApp. When I'm in the UK next week, another friend who joined British Caledonian on our training course is coming to visit. Lifelong friends are worth their weight in gold. Amen to that, I say. And when we are together, the years just melt away and we laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. Nothing like it. We are very lucky. I totally agree with you. It's just amazing. And then Philomena says she liked the video and my friends, and she wishes me well. And I think that's enough chit chat from me for today. Don't forget to tune in to Thank God It's Friday, which is coming up in a couple of days' time. And I'll see you on Friday and next Wednesday. Thank you.